Kerala, they have a lot of film kind of clubs or groups and a lot of conversation around films. So you watch a film and there's a lot of online still, that kind of blogging sort of world where you write about the film, other people's a bit letterboxed sort of world where I feel like that sharing is what I really like about making films.
I'd asked Kiran to send me some images of her process of translating things from script to screen, and she sent me something from Lapata Ladies.
Okay, guys,
Sanjit, if you can put it on the screen, please.
It's very bad screenshots of my script on set. Okay, yeah.
So would you like to take us through this process of what was?
I thought I'd send you. Yeah, I thought I'd send you a. Can you even see everyone? Yeah. No. So I sent him a couple of the first few scenes of like where they get switched on a train. It's useful
to scroll
to
that one.
Yeah. No. So it starts here where they get on the train. So the pool has moved towards the middle of the scene. So you kind of see a little bit about how it was written on the page. And for us, this was the interior of the train. Usually this is my shooting script. I have it in a small, literally this size or smaller version of it. And I do my sort of short angles and breakdowns next to the scene wherever possible. I've sent a whole bunch of them. And when we block the scene, when we're rehearsing it, and then when we block it on set, some of the details are added and changed. So this scene was kind of one of the trickier scenes where Pool gets interchanged with Jaya. This is where he goes to the toilet and then the train pulls into a station. If you turn the page, there's what happened.
Can you scroll? Can you go to the next page, Sanjit?
The next one should be, yeah. So what happened was that Sneha had written in a very funny scene where there's a guy who is sitting at the window. These guys, of course, on the two benches. And the chap who's at the window, inside we have a lot of sort of people passing by and a person who comes to sell pani. And at the window there was a guy who was saying, "Hey, santra, santra, do santra," and then this guy comes and he's like, the wife tells him santra lo, and he says, "Arey nahi, but like watermelon. What do you call watermelon? Kalingad, whatever, tarbooj." So he's like, "Nahi sir, ye tarbooj le lo," and the train is now about to leave, and so he buys the tarbooj and he gives him the money, and the train starts moving. And he realizes that his tarbooj is stuck outside the window and he can't bring it in. And all of this was kind of happening while at the back, one are the bride and her husband leave. And Pool, finding that there is space and she's got all this going on, she slides towards the window. And Pradeep sits on this side and tells Jaya to come and sit next to him. So Jaya is technically sitting exactly where Pool was. And Pool is sitting where that earlier bride was, who has just left. So as far as Deepak is concerned, that earlier bride is still sitting there and the one in the middle is Pool. So this was sort of the way, so WM is the watermelon man. And then there's watermelon man's wife, which is WMW. Santra Lona, and then go back, sorry. And then when the train jolts to a start and his hand is outside, then she says, "Kahe the santra lo." So it was a really cute joke, but we didn't find a way to the film. Now you can turn over. And so this is also how they get off the train and the exit, because it also something that we didn't want to dwell on too much. And I have to say at this point that when you see it written, and it's very easy to write these things, but the process from page to screen is that much harder. So as writers, please keep it in mind for us directors, because what happened was it had to be late enough and dark enough and everybody's tired enough that Deepak just reaches over, shakes her, picks up his bags and leaves. And Jaya, also who's asleep gets up and follows him off the train, but realizes at some point, and what is that point? That's something again that we achieved on set, that she's following the wrong guy. Remember that she's also not seen this husband of hers till a few days or the previous day. She only really knows his brown suit. So it was critical that both the men were the same sort of build, were wearing similar colored suits. It's night, she's wearing a veil, and it's believable that she could follow this guy to a certain point. But there is a point at which she realizes that I'm following the wrong guy. So, what was that point? And that's what we actually had to arrive at on set. Because how to make it seamless? So the audience knows, she knows, but Deepak doesn't know. So it's the point at which Deepak gets off the train and says, "Jaldi chalo, aakhri bus hai, nikal jayega." So she just follows him. I think I didn't give you the next page, did I? Okay, anyway. No, this is not the next page. This is something else. Okay, but I should have given you, that's the critical thing though. I forgot, it's in my, I could have sent it, sorry. But that's where it's not as clear in the script, but it's written in the script, but she basically gets off, she hears his voice and hesitates. The train begins to move, and then she makes a conscious decision to follow him. All of this, if you can see, it's in like literally a few paragraphs, and it's very, pool slides over, this happens, that happens. But in the breaking down of that scene, it was, it took me many, we storyboarded everything, and we shot it as per storyboard. But I think I only managed to find the rhythm and the actual efficacy of the storytelling on the edit table, where Jabin and I actually had to do it time and time again, where it was clear but not so clear, because in the screenplay it was very, very clear that one person moves and she moves here. And I wanted it to be kind of how it is in a train, there's movement, it's a lot more natural, and things are happening. So this was the way we kind of had to break it down to make it, and ultimately lose that watermelon thing altogether, because Sneha had almost done it as a decoy that was happening on the side, like something's happening, everybody is distracted by this, but we felt that if everybody is listening to this watermelon guy, it adds length. If you don't, that's one part of it. But the second is, we did want people to know that she had moved, but do it in a way that it's sort of,
It had the risk of being looking very, very convenient. But actually, when I saw it, I thought, how are they going to do this? Because I knew from the trailer, I knew from knowing where the story is going, that they are going to be exchanged.
Yeah.
But it had the chance of looking very, very convenient, which it didn't. So it was quite complex, but handled in a way that it didn't look convenient or convoluted. कि ये तो सोचा है इसलिए कर रहे हैं, but it looked like it's very natural and organic.
And that, I think, really hats off not just to my DP who helped me shoot it in a way where, it felt very natural, things were moving. We were shooting on real trains, on real live railway tracks. So we didn't really have that much luxury of just doing many takes, because the train also had to start at a certain point exactly. So, messages going to the engine to move, because we wanted to see the platform. So, and you know how fairly small budget films are, so you can't, we didn't have a lot of, it was very important to have that on storyboard, but it also then only was found on the edit table. So, again here was just like something that was added, previous. When, go back, Jaya comes home, we kind of, I kind of added, no, this was also, I think, partly there in the script, but then how things just dialogue gets written in, sometimes it happens while you're working with actors. Most of this, of course, is also what Sneha has written. But yeah, go next. I don't know, this was when Jaya comes home and they have the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law are fighting. And then, what is this? Patila railway station. Yeah, I think it's just to be able to show, for instance, in this scene, 27, you know, you like as a director, you just add beats to a screen. A lot of it is, you know, so what I feel about the written word to screen also is it is a process of everything is a process of interpretation, and things change, get lost or added along the way. It happens from story idea to your writing itself, from your first draft to your second draft. Then it goes to a director who imagines it in their own way. And then while I'm imagining it, I add bits to the script. I look at various ways in which I'm going to tell the story, and how you actually visually tell the story changes the story, of course. You know, and any other director would do it differently, and they you know, how they would highlight a certain emotion, or you know, capture a certain mood or location, the choice of locations, the choice of actors. This is writing as well, if you know what I mean. You're writing with people, you're writing with light, you're writing with, you know. So, yeah, so I feel like that, and then after that you reach an edit stage, and that's actually where you do the most difficult work of writing, in my opinion. Because that's when you're confronted, you're confronted with what you've actually got. Some of it just doesn't work, or you really need to work hard to make it work. And I think that is the stage at which you really begin to know your material best.